A man went to buy bread with a wheelbarrow full of money. Yes, an entire wheelbarrow. On getting to the bakery, he left the wheelbarrow full of money outside the bakery. But when he came back, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hope you have been learning how money evolved. I am Coach Blessing, your financial expert. I believe by now you know the second level of money evolution. I also believe that you now have understanding of trade by barter, its limitations, and the shift towards the use of a more acceptable means of exchange. But in this video, we are going to move to another level. Are you ready for another mind-blowing revelation? Stay with me because this episode is about to open your eyes to the third level of money evolution. Before we unveil the third level, let's take a step back and acknowledge the challenges that make trade by barter system ineffective. And one of these limitations we are disagreement on value. Imagine bringing 10 baskets of corn, but the goat seller thinks his one goat is worth 15 baskets. So these disputes arose because everyone believed that their produce were more valuable. The second reason is no double coincidence of wants. You may have salt and you need fish, but the fisherman who is supposed to give you fish only wants yams in exchange for his fish. That means you have to find someone who wants salt in exchange for yams before you can get your fish. Isn't this complicated? We also had the storage and mobility issue as associated with trade by barter. Perishable goods like fruits and grains would rot even before they could be exchanged. And carrying heavy goods over long distance was another challenge. Clearly, trade by barter wasn't sustainable. It was time for something new. So all the limitations of trade by barter brought about the birth of the industrial age, which is the third level of money evolution. This is where the game changed. Farmers began to realize that their lands were more valuable than just producing crops. Beneath the soil were gold, crude oil, coal, and even precious resources waiting to be discovered. This sparked a massive revolution of the industrial age. Let me break it down here. Farmers no longer saw their produce as just food. Instead, they started processing it into new products. So apple turned to apple juice and tomatoes became tomato paste. This was the birth of value addition. With industries booming, factory jobs emerged. But industry needed workers. This led to the introduction of the school system, where people were trained not to be free thinkers but to fit into the labor market. And this was the beginning of the job and salary system. Because of that, farming slaves were turned to industrial slaves. Let me paint a very clear picture for you to understand. Back in the plantation days, slaves worked in the fields with barely any clothing. But as industries took over, the modern slaves now wear suits, ties, and overall. Instead of being bought and sold on a scale, they are now measured on a salary scale. Then, a farmer's labor was exchanged for food and shelter. Now, a worker's labor is exchanged for a paycheck and job security. But is it really security? Think about it. This system is designed to keep you working for decades, chasing a salary, waiting for pension at 65, and hoping for a comfortable retirement. In reality, it's a golden handcuff, a trap disguised as stability. This industrial slavery system brought about the currency evolution. That is, the move to money as we know it today, which is actually a trap to keep you as a modern slave with golden handcuffs. As industries advanced, trade by barter had to go. A decision was made to accept other things as a medium of exchange. Cowries, gold coins, copper coins. But these still had their limitations. Some of the limitations were gold was too heavy to move around, and storing gold safely was a big challenge. As we are struggling with these limitations, then came the World War, and new nations emerged. This brought about a growing need for a more standardized system, and this led to the birth of paper currency. So banks and governments came together and said, instead of moving heavy goods, let's issue paper notes as a promise of the gold stored in reserve. At first, these notes were backed up by real gold, but then a shift happened. World leaders decided to separate paper currency from gold, and this is where everything changed. People started believing that paper was money, but the truth is, paper has no real value. Let me tell you a shocking story of the man with the wheelbarrow of money. During a severe economic crisis in Europe, inflation went wild. A man went to buy bread with a wheelbarrow full of money. Yes, an entire wheelbarrow. On getting to the bakery, he left the wheelbarrow full of money outside the bakery. But when he came back, the wheelbarrow was stolen and the money was dumped on the floor. Why? Because the wheelbarrow had more value than the useless paper currency. Sounds crazy. It's happening today in places like Zimbabwe and even Nigeria. People carrying millions of naira just to buy small things. That's because paper currency is not real money. Let me tell you the illusion of money. Perhaps it will help you in breaking the myth. Let me show you something. These are promissory notes. They are only as valued as the exchange system backing them up. If there are no values backing them up, these papers are useless. The Great British Pounds still keeps a reminder of this truth. If you check it closely, you will see the words, "I promise to pay the bearer on demand." That's right. It's just a promise, not real money. The moment world leaders decided to remove gold backing, people lost sight of what real money is. Banking became a billion-dollar industry and greed exploded. Some European nations thought their old currencies were money until they woke up one morning and the euro had replaced everything they knew. What they thought was money vanished overnight. Having heard of all this from me, you may be asking, what should we do now? My people, here is the truth. Your salary is not wealth. Your currency or that cash in your wallet is not real money. Your banknotes are just promises. The real money is value. Ask yourself, what do you own that appreciates in value? How are you securing your financial future? Are you building wealth or you're just trapped in the system? This is where the journey to true financial freedom begins. In our next episode, I will show you the fourth level of money evolution and how to break free from financial slavery. You don't want to miss it. If this video has opened your eyes, hit the like button. Share this with your friends and subscribe to Cash Empire Revolution. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Let's break free together. See you in the next episode. Love you.